seeing Kayleigh back on TV. She was on Fox News last night. Obviously, Kayleigh was White House press secretary when we oversaw the Summer of Love, the most violent summer in my lifetime in America. Reports now showing, this is from CNN, a 33% increase in homicides in large American cities. Get out of large American cities. This is a horrendous trend, and it's not letting up because Joe Biden, Mr. Unity, is president. No. If anything, it is accelerating, and we're seeing that right now. Kayleigh Mcenany hit the nail on the head last night when she said CNN and the media and the corporate media are responsible for this violence because they refuse to cover it honestly and tell the American people, who would be disgusted about it, what is going on. Yes, Kayleigh, go in. Queen, watch this clip.
Mcenany also now joining us. There is a political component to all of this, Kayleigh, and that was the denial all summer long of rioting and Chaz Chop, Summer of Love, autonomous zones, police stations burned to the ground, thousands of cops injured with bricks and rocks and bottles and Molotov cocktails. All of that happened as well. And Joe Biden, Democrats ignored it. They didn't want to anger, I guess, their constituency. Tensions rising between police departments and communities, city blocks taken over, police precincts burned down. It brings back a lot of memories of what we've been through.
Yeah, it does. And, as you know, Sean, I stood at that White House podium, and I didn't often field questions, critical questions about the violence in our streets. I proactively brought it up after St. John's Church burned in Washington, D.C. Ironic indeed, because St. John's Church stayed open during the March on Washington. It's an icon of civil rights and faith intersecting, but it was burned down amid the riots, not to mention 25 people who lost their lives. And you go over to CNN, where Chris Cuomo says, who says protesting needs to be peaceful? Well, the First Amendment, Chris, says you must peaceably assemble. And Don Lemon saying rioting's a mechanism to restructure the country. This was enabled by the media, by the left, who would not call out the violence we saw. We've got to look into instances like what we saw tonight, yesterday rather, that horrific tragedy. But we've also got to recognize that most police officers in this country are good, amazing people, like Chris Rasiopo, who is in New York fighting for his life in a hospital bed in a medically induced coma after being stabbed in an altercation with a drunk driver. Only his life was saved by a Marine who tied a belt around his leg, and the New Mexico officer. And thank you. One last point, Sean. Thank you so much for putting up the names of Darian Jarrett and all of those other police officers. It's the first time I've seen that done on a program. So important. We need to know their names. They sacrificed their lives for us.
Every life matters. I never thought those words would be, important. And, Larry, in the middle of our coverage, when we were proven right about the abuse of power and corruption with the deep state and